you guys, I just wanted to take a couple of minutes and go over this quiz that you just took. There were quite a few of you that made some mistakes on this that I want to clarify for you so that when you do your retake, you don't make the same mistakes again. First off, this question says, find the distance from A to B in the triangle below. Express your answer in simplest radical form. So, if I am finding the distance from A to B, I'm sorry, sometimes it's a little bit hard for me to draw on my tablet here, but I'm trying to find the distance from A to B. You can see that this is actually a right triangle. This triangle ABC is a right triangle. So we know that diagonal distance is going to be side C in the right triangle. And in order to find side C, we're going to use this coordinate plane so that we can count the distance of each of the legs A and B. So from A to C, this is 1, 2, 3 spaces. So that side, so if I pull this triangle outside of the coordinate plane, I can see that this side is going to be 3. The other side, the distance from B to C is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces. Okay, so the distance from A to C is 3 spaces. The distance from B to C is 6 spaces. And then this is side C of my right triangle. So I'm going to use my Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared, to help me find the distance of side AB. Now, my A is 3, so that's going to be 3 squared. My B is 6, so that'll be 6 squared. 3 squared is 9, 6 squared is 36. So when I combine a 9 and a 36, I get 45. And if I'm solving for the C, I want to get the C by itself. The inverse operation for squaring is to do the square root. So I'm going to square root 45. Now, this is where you have to pay careful attention to your instructions. This says express your answer in simplest radical form. So when you have the square root of 45, this one can actually simplify because we would have 9 and 5, and then 9 would factor down to 3 and 3. So this will simplify to 3 root 5. So if you put the square root of 45 in your calculator and hit enter, you will see that your calculator says 3 times the square root of 5. That's what simplest radical form is. Okay, on the next question, this time we don't have the triangle drawn. And so let's go ahead and just draw in our triangle. And I'm going to show you something else that's kind of helpful as well. So this point right here, that point is at -8, 3. And then this point right here is at -3, 9. So if I'm trying to find the distance of this side right here, okay, you can see that this is a horizontal change. And these are our x coordinates, these are our y coordinates. So if we move from -8 to -3, so from -8 to -3, you can see that this change right here is going to be 5 spaces. That is the distance of that line segment right there, is 5 spaces, okay? And then this change right here is from 3 to 9, and you can see this is a vertical change. So the distance in between 3 and 9, if I change from 3 to 9, that's going to be 6 spaces. So that change will be 6, which means that this leg is 6. So now I know that this is my right angle, this is side C, and I'm going to use my Pythagorean theorem. And I'm going to do a squared, which is 5. So 5 squared plus 6 squared equals c squared. And then this is going to be 25 plus 36, and that is going to be a 61. And then in order to get the c by itself, I have to get rid of the squared by square rooting. Now on this one, it says round your answer to the nearest tenth. So when I put the square root of 1 in my calculator, I get 7.8102. This is actually an irrational number that doesn't repeat and doesn't end. And so if it says to round to the tenths, this is the 10th spot. Because the one right after that is not 5 or bigger, this is going to stay an 8. So 7.8 if we round that to the 10th spot. Okay. Now on the next question, it says find the distance between the 2 points. What I want you to recognize is that the 2 is the x coordinate, the -5 is the y coordinate, the 8 is the x coordinate, and the 6 is the y coordinate. So I'm actually going to write these. I'm going to stack them. And I'm also going to plot these 2 points on the coordinate plane. We have 2, -5, so to the right 2, and then down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is 2, -5. And then I have 8, 6, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Up 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we want to know this. Oh, I wish that was a little straighter. We want to know that diagonal distance. Okay, now I'm going to just draw in a triangle here. So even though there wasn't a triangle drawn for this question, what I want you to recognize is that one of the legs, this leg A right here, you can see that the vertical change is from 6 clear down to -5. Okay, so from -5 to 6 right here, from -5 to 6, you can see that that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 spaces. And if you were to think about this on a number line, if this is 0 and this is -5 and this is 6, from -5 to 0 would be 5 spaces, and from 0 to 6 would be another 6 spaces. And so that change from -5 to 6 is going to be 11. Okay, so that would be our side A would be 11. And then for our side B, what I want you to recognize is that it's going from 2 to 8. Okay, it's going from 2 to 8. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces. And if you think about that on a horizontal number line, just like we have, if this is 2 and this is 8, the distance in between those is 6. So this is going to be 6. So when you have 2 points and you're trying to find the distance between the 2 points, what you're really doing is finding the distance between the x coordinates. That is one of the leg lengths. And then you're finding the distance between the y coordinates. That is the other leg length. Okay, so we have 6 squared plus 11 squared is going to be equal to our side C squared. And so when we do this one, we get 157 equals C squared. And then to get rid of that squared, we have to square root. Now, when I square root 157, my decimal number looks like this, 12.5299. It's an irrational number, so it keeps going, never ends, never repeats. And my instructions say to round to the nearest tenth. Well, this is my 10th spot. So since the number right after that is not 5 or bigger, this is going to be 12.5. Okay, and then on the last question, it says find the perimeter of the triangle. So remember, the perimeter is around the distance around the outside. We know that this distance right here, we can actually count this distance because this is from 3 to 7. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So we know that base of the triangle is 4, but what we don't know is this side here. and we don't know this side here, but the nice thing is those two side lengths are the same. So if we can find one of the sides, then we will know the other. So in order to find that side length, we're going to split this triangle up the middle, and we're going to make this a right angle, which is now going to give us a right triangle. So this distance right here, from here to here, that's going to be one of the legs of our right triangle, and then from here to here is going to be another one of the legs. Now from here to here, that one's easy, that's going to be a 2, okay? And then from here to here, I know that this point is 5, 1. That's this point right here, to the right, 5 up 1. And I know that this point is 5, 7. So I can now say that my change in x, well, it didn't change from here to here, right? But my change in y is going to be 6 spaces. If I go from 1 to 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces. So that means that makes that height of that triangle 6. Sorry, I wish this was a little straighter. Let me go ahead and lasso that and delete it. Let me draw it a little bit straighter for you. So I have a right triangle like this. Oh, that wasn't much better, was it? Okay, and then this is 2, and then this is 6, and I'm trying to find this side right here. So 2 squared plus 6 squared equals c squared. So this is going to be 2 squared is 4, 6 squared is 36, so that's going to be 40 equals c squared. And then when I do the square root of 40, I get 2 root 10. And this didn't say to round my answer, so because it didn't say to round the answer, I'm going to go ahead and leave it as accurate as possible. So my big triangle, so I'm going to take this right here, and I'm just going to now draw it out with everything I now know. So I know the base is 4. I know that one side, we just found that to be 2 root 10, which means the other side is 2 root 10. So if I'm going to find the perimeter, that means I want to add this side right here, which is 2 root 10, plus 4, plus 2 root 10. So when I put that in the calculator, 2 seconds square root 10, arrow over, plus 4, plus 2 seconds square root 10, arrow over, I get 4 root 10 plus 4. And if I hit the arrows to do an approximation, which some of you did, it would be 16.6 if I round to the tenths. Okay. Okay, now what I want you to do is flip your quiz over to the back, and I want to have you practice a couple more where you have to find the distance between the 2 points. So I'm going to give you a trick to do this, and that is you have to remember this is x, this is y, this is x, and this is y. So without actually graphing these 2 points, I want you to take your 2 points and I want you to stack them like this. Okay, now if we were to plot these 2 points, then 6 and the -1 would be our x's, and the 6 and 9 would be our y's. And if we're going to find the distance between them, we actually want to use the Pythagorean theorem and have a triangle. But we can find the vertical change and the horizontal change by just counting. So from 6 to -1, like if you think about this, and I'm going to actually do a like this. So if this is 0, and this is 6, and this is -1, the change from 6 to -1, that change right there would be 7. Okay, so that means one of my legs lengths is going to be 7. And actually, I'm sorry, I I should have changed that so that this was horizontal. So let me go ahead and fix this really quick because that was my change in x's. Erase this. Okay, so my change in x's would be a horizontal change on the coordinate plane. So from -1 to 6. So that would still be 7 spaces. Okay, and now my vertical change, so if I've got 6 and I've got 9, that's going to be the other leg right here from 6 to 9, and that change is going to be 3. Okay, so I'm going to have 7 squared plus 3 squared equals c squared. So that's going to be 40. So 7 squared plus 3 squared is 58. And then when I do the square root of 58, that one doesn't simplify. So if it says leave in simplest radical form, you would say square root of 58. If it says round to the 10th place, you would get 7.6. Okay, so let's go ahead and do one more together, and then I think you'll be ready to do a few practice problems on your own before you do your retake of this quiz. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stack these 2 points, -9, -1, and then I also have 7, 3. So my change in the x-axis, okay, so these are my x coordinates. If this is 0, and I am going from -9 all the way to +7, if I want to know that leg length of my right triangle, that distance is actually 16, okay? So that distance is going to be 16. My other distance, my vertical change, is from -1 to +3. So from -1 to +3, that's going to be a change of 4. So I'm going to say 16 squared plus 4 squared equals c squared. So now 16 squared plus 4 squared is 272. And when I do the square root of 272, I get 4 root 17. So as a simplified radical, I would say 4 times the square root of 17. And then if I put rounded to the 10ths, that is going to round to 16.5. Okay, so now at this point, I need you to do the Alex assignment that is called Distance Using the Pythagorean Theorem Quiz Retake Practice. Okay, so distance using the Pythagorean Theorem quiz retake practice. You're going to do that practice assignment, and then once you've got that done at 100%, you'll bring that back to me, and then I will give you a retake of this quiz.